Thank you all so much for clicking on this Cowboys Report video. If you want daily questions and daily videos on the Dallas Cowboys, I want you guys to subscribe. Hit that big red button and join the #1 Cowboys YouTube channel out there. That way you don't miss a single thing on America's team. From Michael Campbell, do you think they should sit D-Law when Gregory comes back so that he can get healthy? It's not a bad idea, in all honesty. Now, that Lawrence was able to practice today and on Thursday makes me think he's getting healthier. My problem is this, is that so far, your snaps have gone to Aldon Smith, Everson Griffin, Dorrance Armstrong, and Tank. If you take away Tank snaps, that means you're probably still giving them to Everson Griffin and Dorrance Armstrong. Dorrance's snaps have to go to Gregory immediately when he comes back. If you can get by with those 4, it's okay. But honestly, the guy who deserves less snaps between D-Law and Griffin right now, it's Griffin. Now, if a week or 2 could get Lawrence healthy, I am fine with that. It's a good discussion to have. But I think by the time Gregory gets back, Lawrence will be as healthy as he's going to be this year. And if that's the case, you're better off just keeping him out there. From Fat Sushi Man, how do you feel about Chris Richard? Remember how earlier I said, if the answer is not A, you don't want to go back to A? That's Chris Richard. There is a reason no one's hired him. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to bring him back in, if that's what you're asking here. Like, if I ask you, hey, solve for X in this equation, and your answer is it's 4, and I say, no, it's not 4. You say, okay, how about 7? I say, no, it's not 7. You don't immediately say, okay, how about 4? We already know it's not 4. The answer is not Chris Richard. He's just not very good. I'm sorry. A super chat from Sean Williams. Thank you, Sean. How about trading for JJ Watt? Okay. A couple things here that I think we should discuss. A, JJ Watt's expensive, both in terms of draft capital and his actual contract. And then other stuff here. Yes, he would help your defensive line. He absolutely would. It's also another player with injury problems. Maybe had enough of those guys. On top of that, from the Houston Texans' perspective, Watt's been a huge part of that team and the city. I don't think that's the type of player that organization can trade. And I think actually most importantly, we have to be honest with where this team is at. Does trading for JJ Watt win you the NFCs? Does it make you a legitimate contender? I don't think it does right now. And because of that, I don't think you should be trading away draft picks. Plain and simple. From Zachary Marquez, could we trade for Geno Atkins? Maybe. Atkins has been banged up this year too. That's a problem. The common theme that I'm going to emphasize when we get to all these trade questions, guys. You have to be good at evaluating where your team is at. You're not a good football team at this moment. Because of that, maybe you shouldn't be trading for aging veterans because your aging veterans aren't helping you to begin with. And in all honesty, might be better off keeping those draft picks for the long term. Now, regardless of whatever you think about this current Cowboys team, if you're trying to win games, I think it's a must-win matchup. I think if you're Dallas, you have to win this game if you want to harbor legitimate hopes about winning the NFC East. If you lose, regardless of how good or bad it is, I'm going to say it's tanking time. But I want your guys' votes here too. Get your votes in. If this is going to be the pinned comment, so if you get the ad break here, get your votes in. Y for yes or N for no. From Noah Grimes, Schultz is cool, but what would it cost to get Ertz? I mean, A, Zach Ertz is heading in the wrong direction of his career. B, now you would have to pay Zach Ertz if you just paid Blake Jarwin, so that's kind of weird. Also, the Eagles are not going to trade their #1 tight end to the Cowboys. Come on, fellas. From Omega, y'all should sign an offensive lineman from the Packers practice squad. They develop good linemen. Well, first off, maybe you're not a Cowboys fan. Weird flex, but okay. Also, they did. They signed Alex Light, who was with the Packers last year, and they cut him already. I'll let you guys in on a secret. That's really shouldn't be a secret at all. You're not going to find good offensive linemen on the free agency market or on practice squads. They aren't available because all the good ones are rostered, because there is a dearth of good O-line talent, as you're seeing with the Cowboys down to OT 4-5 on the outside. Next up from Antonio Gonzalez. The defense have a chance to get it together this year. I mean, sure, I guess there's a chance. I wouldn't feel confident about it. There's always a chance, I guess. But if you think get it together becomes average, I think that's the best you're going to hope for right now. The secondary is not making plays. They're not covering very well. There's miscommunication. There's a lack of confidence. The scheme was too simple last year. Now it's too complex. It's all over the map. That is a problem for this Cowboys team. So, chance, sure. Confidence is not very high at the current moment. Now, thanks everyone for the super chats. As a reminder, 2 ways to get on our live mailbags. First off, you got to be subscribed. But use hashtag Cowboys or super chat to get on the show. From Obi Smokes, if we lose to the Giants, it's time to fire McCarthy, right? Because that's just unacceptable. I don't know, maybe. It's only a 5-game sample size. I think you might be better served just letting the season ride out, because who are you going to promote? Kellen Moore? Definitely not Mike Nolan. Jim Tom Sula? Gross. Joe Philbin? You don't have options just to survive. You might stick with McCarthy until the end of the year, and then you fire him, but you can be working back channels the entire time looking for a new guy. And because, look, I don't know if Mike McCarthy is the right guy for this team. He may be or he may not be. Get your votes in. Type Y for yes or type N for no. I am concerned about it. I like Kellen Moore, but he's not ready to be a head coach. McCarthy was supposed to be a good stabilizing presence. Hasn't done it. So get your votes in. Y for yes or N for no. From Paulie Raves, why can't we activate Isaac Alarcon? Because he's not good? Guys, I get it, he's on the team. I don't know why we would anticipate the guy who was playing in Mexico last year at super sub-level football, wasn't playing college, and who we all knew was a project player to suddenly be good. He was always going to be a long-term guy. He was going to be in the practice squad this year, and then you see what happened. He's not ready to go. It's as simple as that. All right, Dominic Jackson, why don't we trade for Denver's safety, and what would you give up for him? Well, Justin Simmons is very expensive. You have to pay him top 4 safety money. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that. And not only that, again, this team is bad right now. You should not be selling draft picks. We can check back in 2, 3, 4 weeks. But if you're the Cowboys, you should not be trading away all of your draft picks because it might not help you enough. All right, from Juan Barrera, should Zeke get benched if he fumbles again? Sure. I mean, the problem here is that Elliott is still your best back. Now, if you want to sit him for a series or 2 or whatever, sure. But you're definitely not going to sit Zeke and start Pollard. Guys, Pollard has not been good this year. The 4.6 yards per carry is fine, but if you watch all of his runs, there's very clearly some big holes that he missed. Also, he's dropped the pass too. So I get it. We're not happy with Zeke. That's very fair. He's not been good the past 2 weeks. Still your best option. From Lil Ant, Sean Lee update. Still injured. He's going to take time. He might be back at the midpoint of the year. His injury was the hernia. That takes time to recover from. Maybe at the midway point he's back, but it's Sean Lee. Can't exactly count on him going forward. Now, Cowboys face coverings are on sale up to 20% off. Head over to chatsports.com/CowboysMask. The link will be in the comments, and it'll be in the description. Not all of the available options are 20% off, but a good amount of them are, especially some of these multi-combo packs. I love the American flag one. It looks so cool for America's team. The 2-pack one looks nice as well. And they're machine washable, which I hope we're all doing with our face masks anyway. So go check out the full allotment of available options at chatsports.com/CowboysMask. From Sam11, trade for James Bradberry. The Giants literally just paid him. No, not going to happen. Fat Sushi Man, first-round punter. You're just trolling me now. It's a good one. Punters aren't football players. Shouldn't use them. Jeffrey Snow, who would you hire for DC if no one is fired at the end of the year? Great question. I think the first thing you do, especially for like a potential mid-season firing, is you probably look internally. You do have George Edwards, who was the Vikings DC. That could be an option. I know y'all want Wade. Sure, look at Wade Phillips. He has me blocked on Twitter, but it's fine. He's also old. Also, things did not end well for the Cowboys and Wade Phillips. Might not make sense. There's a lot of options. I'll throw out one dark horse name. You know what I would do? I would pick up the phone, and maybe I call the Kansas City Chiefs defensive backs coach Dave Merritt. I think he has some good buzz around the NFL within it. The Chiefs like him, and they're getting good play out of a bunch of nobodies in the secondary. So it's a wild card, but you know what? Sometimes risk gets paid off in the end. From Jose Banks, hopefully we draft safety Ford from Pitt. That is Paris Ford from Pitt. I know his first name is Paris, but he plays for Pitt. Look, there are a lot of good day two safeties. All I want in the world is a good fatty on the interior for the defensive line. That sounded really bad. And a safety. Get me a safety before round 4. That is all I want to see happen. From Farise24, do you regret letting Hitchens and Wilson walk? I don't. Anthony Hitchens got paid a ridiculous amount of money, and he's been fine. He's not that good. Damian Wilson is also bad. Don't get fooled because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl and thinking that Hitchens and Wilson are good. I have no regrets about letting them leave. That was the right decision for the Cowboys. TKG with an NFL question. Do you think the season will be postponed or stopped thanks to Titans? And do you think if we lose to the Giants, we hope the season gets postponed or stopped? You know what? Maybe a pause and having some time to learn the damn playbook would be good for the Cowboys. DJ Martin, talk Eric Weddle out of retirement. Guys, that's fun and all. You think Eric Weddle wants to come play for a 1-3 football team? Like that's part of the issue here, folks. The Cowboys aren't good. You're going to have a tough time getting veterans out of retirement to come play for a losing football team. That's not what they want to do. And they get them to come out, you got to pay them way too much money. That's a pass, I think, for Weddle.